Hi, I'm TJ, and this is Home with TJ. My wife, she challenged me to try and record and post 7 days in a row. This way I can develop some better skills, I guess. I don't think I was very good at my first one, but we're working on it, trying to do a little bit better than we did yesterday. And yeah, I think one of the things that bothers me a lot is that people say that I'm not like a real Filipino. And I get it. I don't speak the language. I'm very American, and yeah, I'm just American. I'm not from the Philippines. I had family from the Philippines and everything, and um, yeah, I guess I'm just not like authentic and real one. But I think it's like every culture. Every culture's like, if you aren't from the place or you don't speak the language, you don't eat the food, then you're not a real one. But um, I don't know. I always wonder like how do I be a real Filipino? I don't know. I don't get it. I saw this one time. It was on the this past weekend podcast with Theo Vaughn, and he said that that Filipinos are like minions, and that he freaking loves the Filipinos. Is crazy. I don't know. Thought it was pretty funny though, and yeah, I just want to know how I could be more Filipino. I follow some of them on TikTok, and I know some people from my old job. Well, I know one guy from my old job. Well, two guys actually from my old job. And my family is also Filipino, so I really don't know exactly how to be a real Filipino. And um, anyways, there's that. I'm also Mexican too, just a little bit, maybe like I think I did the whole 23andMe, and I think it came out that I was like 20%, Mexican. Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, this is Home with TJ. I want to thank you for tuning in. You can find me on Spotify, YouTube. I'm also on TikTok doing that too. And you can find me under Home with TJ on all of those platforms. I'm hoping to get on the Apple Podcasts or anything like that. I see a lot of other people, they use the RSS subscriptions feed or whatever, where they upload one to one place and then it just sends it out everywhere, so it gets distributed a lot easier. But I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I probably should look it up at some point, but here we are. I'm just starting off, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know where else to go with that one. I watched the Theo Vaughn and Luke Combs podcast this morning. It was pretty cool. Um, I never really saw a lot of Luke Combs interviews. I'm a big fan of country music, and I would never really see him do interviews. I saw him on Joe Rogan's once, but he never posted the entire video, and it was only like a clip. It was like a 2 minute clip, and I think he's a pretty chill dude, and it was kind of weird. Put it on the TV. My son and I woke up, and I put on the podcast just to have some background sounds while my son plays. I get our breakfast and everything ready, and I look on the screen, and it looks like the dude. The dude looks like my old manager. So instantly, I'm just like freaking fuming. I was really upset, and then I realized what was really going on. So then I calmed down. It was pretty good after that. I didn't finish the whole thing. Um, my son had other plans. He wanted to move back to his original plan of probably watching Disney all day. He's a big Encanto fan. I think I mentioned that before. He likes it, Encanto. He likes Cars. He likes Coco, Moana. But um, I'm pretty sure he just wanted to go back to his regularly programmed Disney and use that as his background sounds, as opposed to Theo Vaughn and Luke Combs. Again, I'd like to welcome back my tall. This is my Stanley dupe, and I will stand by it until the very end. I also mentioned before that I do music time with my son. I do a lot of live music, or we listen to albums, and try to give him a larger range of music diversity. Pretty much, I don't want him to be stuck in only one genre of music. I want him to be able to just change up what he listens to. I don't I don't want to limit him in a way. I know a lot of people say that you can never introduce too much, or you introduce too much, it'll overwhelm them or anything. But, I just want to, yeah, give him a little bit of diversity. We listen to a lot of Disney music, of course, but well, when it's in season, we'll watch The Voice. My wife and I and my son will watch The Voice, and they have a lot of different genres that they sing. And I'm gonna be honest, I feel like the last few seasons of The Voice haven't really been all that. There was a couple seasons ago I thought was really good. I think it was maybe in like 2021 or 2020, something like that. I don't remember, but I think that was one of the last really good seasons. And I feel like as of recent times, everybody's been I don't know, pretty whack. I haven't been a fan of a lot of the contestants that have been going on there either. So um I think also because Blake Shelton left the show, that it's gotten pretty dry, and they try to use a lot of like skits, comedic humor, and I'm not a huge fan of some of the judges that they have on there too. It's like they just want to not keep it like a popularity contest, but they want to keep it in the genre. They don't want to change it up like they used to. And I feel like that could make it a lot better if they actually changed up the who the judges are. I think Chance the Rapper was one of the best, um, not judges, but like coaches. I feel like Chance the Rapper was one of the best coaches that was on there, and I feel like he's very underrated on there. And I'm kind of sad that he. Well, actually, I don't know if he's going to be on there next season, but I know there was a two. He was on there for at least two seasons, and both of them he did a really good job. And I'm a big fan of John Legend too. That style of music, like it's not like what you're thinking of, like club music, but like when I think of like other kinds of like club music, I think like smooth piano music and stuff like that. And I think I'm feel like I'm talking more about like country clubby music, or like stuff like the more like elegant, richy kind of people stuff, what they would listen to. And I'm a huge fan of like classical and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of the stuff that John Legend does while he's coaching his team, um, I feel like I don't really see a whole lot of it in his music. I see a lot of he stays within his genre, and if it works for him, it works for him, and I believe it does. But I feel like the advice that he gives to his team, I feel like if he really went for that kind of stuff, oh man, he'd be huge. He'd be on a whole different level, I would say. Another judge that I really liked from The Voice was Kelly Clarkson. I think she was probably one of the best ones, and her dynamic with Blake was pretty insane. It's something good to watch, and definitely something that was entertaining to just have on. I wasn't too mad about any skits or any of her choices to have on her team, pretty much. So I thought that was pretty cool. But like I said, recently I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the judges. Um, Nile, whatever is however you like to pronounce his name. I did like him too eventually, and I wasn't the biggest fan of Dan and Shay this last season, but I feel like more so Shay, I would say. I feel like he really grew. Dan, Shay, one of the two. I don't remember, to be honest, but I feel like the one that has the higher pitched voice that that's actually the voice of Dan and Shay. They really grew on me. You know, the dude's actually really funny, and I don't necessarily want to admit that because I'm not a huge fan of the voice. Not the voice there. I'm not a huge fan of their voice, whichever one that is. But yeah, and I read this thing before where it's like the winner of the voice is, they win the prize money and then they get some kind of like record deal, and they're pretty much like tied there and they're stuck. That's why you don't see a lot of contestants or winners you just don't see a lot of winners from The Voice going on and being like recording artists or like really successful recording artists, if you want to say it like that. That's because I guess they're contractually tied to just performing for The Voice and being on their schedule. But anybody who does not win first place on The Voice, they're kind of given more free reign to do whatever they want, I guess, which is crazy. And then I read also that Kelly Clarkson, because she won American Idol. Um, I don't know. Somehow she got out of her contract. They released her from a contract, and that's when she really blew up. And good for her. Maybe if I'm lucky, that'll happen to me, my son, or somebody I know. Good for them. If not, you know, we'll just keep on keeping on trucking and whatever. Yeah, I'm also a big fan of like techier things. My first channel, well, not first channel, my first TikTok that I was trying to do was called Techie TJ, and it's still there. Um, but pretty much I wanted to do like reviews of just things that I had that I feel like people often overlook because they're not, necessarily like the mainstream kind of stuff. It was mostly like Samsung products because that's what I use. That's my brand of choice. Right now I'm recording on a Z Fold 4, and I have my Galaxy Tab. I think it was like S7 Plus right here too, and I'm not wearing it right now, but I have the Watch 4 Classic, and I'm a huge fan of that ecosystem. It everything just like seamlessly works together somehow. It's not limited, and same thing applies to like my interest in headphones. I was growing up, like I said, I was a huge fan of like music, listening to music, and having like a diverse library of things to listen to. So I always wanted to have like a really good pair of like headphones, and I'm not necessarily picky, but I had some over the ear headphones. Then the in ear headphones, wired, wireless. I've had all of it pretty much. Um, I think some things that are pretty cool too is like the out of ear kind of headphones that they have now. I think who is it? Bose? Not Bose. No, I think it is Bose. They or even Sony too. They have some pretty cool ones that just kind of clip onto your ear, and I don't know how it works, but it seems pretty cool. Um, but yeah, my taste in how I listen to my audio has changed over the years too. So um, I went from just because I was I was a big Apple fanboy before too. Um, I ended up going from the iPhone. I think it was like an iPhone 6s Plus or 6 Plus to the Galaxy S7 Edge or the S8 or one of the two. Something like that. And I ended up getting into the headphones at some point. Um, I think the first pair of like the truly wireless, like the earbuds that I got was the Galaxy Buds Plus. I got the red pair, and they're pretty cool. Well, before that, my wife, I had expressed my interest in these earbuds to my wife, and she wasn't sure that I was going to use them. I wasn't going to like them. So my first actual pair of truly wireless headphones were these they were the Sound Peats, and honestly they were really good for what they were. They When I first started my job at the factory, that's what I used, and they drowned out most of the factory noise, and I was able to listen to music. They did the job and they were good. So eventually I decided that it was time to upgrade to the Galaxy Buds Plus. And I also had, some really nice like over the ear Audio Technica headphones, but um, over time the ear cushions and everything, they started to crack, fall apart kind of. So I wasn't able to upkeep those anymore. They weren't very comfortable because everything was, scratching, falling apart, and I didn't want any more damage done to them than what already was. So, for my over ear headphones collection, ended up going from those Audio Technicas to the I think it was called the Sony Hear-Ons, something like that. Those are also discontinued. They don't make those ones anymore. Well, I think they do. I think I saw online that they had a um, different color pair, but the color I have, they don't sell them. I think I have there right here actually. Let's see. Whoa, right there. There they are. Pretty neat. You know, I love these. I don't have any complaints, but you can see they are starting to crack on the inside. The cushion's really wearing out, and they're just kind of showing their age. I got these back in, I want to say like 2016, 2017, so they're about getting to 7 years old just about. And, they're still going strong. If when I have the chance to use them, I do. So, like I said, they're in some of my previous videos, and yeah, I love them still. But given the opportunity, I would love to upgrade to maybe like the Sony, like the XM4s. I'm not sure about the XM5s, but for sure the XM4s, I would love to upgrade those. And then as for my earbuds collection, I have the Galaxy Buds Plus, and then I find eventually when they added noise canceling to the Galaxy Buds, I upgraded to the Galaxy Buds Pro. And since then, I've been using those pretty much daily almost. At first, it was a really awkward fit. Um, but they, like I said, they just grew on you. They just grew on me. And I had nothing to complain about. Eventually, though, the fit did start to bother me in one ear. And I know that they have like the foam tips and everything like that. But every time I tried it, the tip would get stuck in my ear. I tried the different sizes and everything, or I made sure that the keyholes and all that lined up, but it still wasn't staying. I wasn't able to actually confidently use them and take them out without one of them being stuck in my ear. So ultimately, I just stuck with like the stock kind of ear tips, the silicone ear tips that it came with, and I just upped the size, down the size, whatever I needed to make sure that I had a decent fit. But one of the other headphones that I ended up getting into was the Nothing brand, the Nothing Ear ones, and I definitely think that these could they could have been my daily driver with headphones. I think at some point I did give it a try for maybe a few weeks, few months, I don't remember, but the noise canceling was really good. The transparency mode wasn't too great, but the sound quality was also really good. And I have family members that have the AirPods Pros. I had coworkers that had the AirPod Pros, and um, to be honest, I thought these were way better for a better price and everything too. When I got them, they were only like $100, and I think now that I think that the Nothing brand, I think they upped the price to maybe like 120. But they also came out with a couple different newer models anyway too. So Nothing is really good on the headphones. Uh, Shoot, maybe even if I had the opportunity, I would upgrade to those too. But I don't know. I've been waiting for Samsung to come out with something new. I saw that they came out with I think the Buds FE, which is pretty much they tried to keep the same shape as the Buds Plus, but add in more features and everything to it. But I didn't really feel like that was going to be an upgrade for me, so I refrained from making that purchase. Um, but I don't. I typically won't make a tech purchase unless I go through doing some research on my own. So I'll look up Flossie Carter. He's the main one I'll go to. Uh, Either him or Marquise, waveform clips guy. Um, I'll typically go through them first. I'll do a lot of research and um, hopefully they would also influence my decision on which one I'm actually going to buy because they do real world application and they show what they what they filmed pretty much, how they tested it, what they did to them. And I really prefer the YouTube tech reviews over the TikTok ones because everything's pretty much like consolidated. I don't have to keep scrolling to find certain things, or there's usually a bunch of comments and everything where these YouTubers they'll respond and they'll answer these questions too. So it's more consolidated for me to look on YouTube rather than TikTok because it's all right there. And honestly too, with TikTok, I feel like a lot of these other TikTok tech reviewers, influencers, whatever you want to call them, um, I don't know. It's a lot more higher energy, and I noticed, and everybody else has noticed that the attention span has been very low because of everything that TikTok has done. It's like you got to make sure that the first 3 seconds are, they grab your attention, or else they're just going to scroll away. And it's fine. I get it, but for me, I'm not a huge like high energy person, and I like to scroll and like watch pretty much. I'm not like just scrolling each time. Um, don't get me wrong. There's times where I will, or if there's something I really just don't like, I'm just gonna keep going anyway. But yeah, I'm not knocking those TikTok guys. I try to do that at one point too. So I don't know. I'm not very like trendy or anything either. So when I was trying to do that account, or even the account that I'm doing right now, this home with TJ, um, I'm not very trendy, so none of my stuff would really pick up. But it's my writing that really got my wife talking to me about trying to do a podcast and try to develop some communication skills or anything like that because of the field that I'm going to be going into. And I have so much time before my program starts, so why not try and I don't know, just build a brand for myself, maybe start a business or something. There's so much time, and I have the opportunity to do it, and she's really pushing me to it. But it's pretty tough because I'm not a trendy person. I feel like I'm not I'm not with the Gen Zers or anything like that. So I'm not more like I tend to I tend to stick more towards like the millennial generation or anything, which I am. I'm tail end, but still a millennial for sure. And I don't know, just like an average dude, pretty much. And it's tough when you're not, not a comedian or not like really trendy or anything like that. Even like fashion wise or anything like that. I think I mentioned in my last video where I started prioritizing comfort more than brand names or how it looks. Like right now I'm wearing all Old Navy. So it's comfortable. I can't complain about what I'm got going on, but it's something that I feel like a lot of people aren't very willing to give a chance to because it's not really trendy, I guess. And I'm not very high energy either, so I'm not trying to grab your attention. Um, not read, I watched this podcast where Joe Rogan was on a podcast. He said, that's fine. People don't have to listen, but I'm going to do this just because I want to do it. I want to talk. I want to have a good conversation and spread happiness and, kindness and, all that stuff. And, I really admired that. I think I said that in my previous video, one of my previous videos also. And, I think that's what kind of just keeps me going on this. I don't want to not try it because, what's the worst thing that happens? I have a few videos on the internet that, um, maybe I could look back on or something, somebody could look back on or get some ideas from. I mean, best case scenario, it works out, and either way, I just want to, just like what Joe Rogan said, have a good conversation, spread some kindness, happiness, and everything like that. Maybe teach or learn a few things here or there, and just talk about a bunch of things because I don't want to be stuck to one area. And if there's one thing that I don't talk about, I can talk about it. I'll learn about it. I'm more than willing to learn and do some research or, just to talk about some things and have, guests. Eventually, I want to try to do guests or something on the podcast, but that's later on down the line. I'm still trying to figure out how to edit me doing my own audio and everything too. So there's that. Eventually I'll probably get there, and I don't know. Until then, I'll just be sitting right here talking about a bunch of random things, I guess. And I don't know. I think the next thing that I really wanted to talk about was the UFC because I think it's getting pretty ridiculous about the whole Conor McGregor fight. It's been postponed so many times, and every day the fight's in jeopardy. And I'm like, dude, can you just stop playing these games? And I know it's probably just publicity because they want to get more attention on the fight and all that. But you're how do I say it? It's freaking Conor McGregor. You don't need to sell the fight anymore. You have your name that'll bring people to buy the fight. But also it's the same thing that can happen to the Tyson Fury fight where literally nobody freaking bought it because it was too expensive. Um, but I feel like, you know, the fight's already been sold. You just got to show up and do it. There's no more games or anything like that. I'm real tired of waking up and it's like, oh, the main event's done. We're not doing it this time. We're doing this instead, or and I don't know. I feel like the whole promotion, the promotion of the fight, not the UFC specifically, but just the promotion of the fight, it could be a lot better because man, I feel like I don't even really care for it at this point anymore. At first I was really excited when Dana White, announced it, but now it's like it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off, and I'm like, I don't necessarily care about it anymore. There's other fights that I would much rather watch too. Um, I'm a big fan of Max Holloway. My sister lives in YNI. I got a lot of family that lives in, on the islands and everything too. So, um, huge supporter of Max Holloway, and I just want to see him. I just want to see him do a lot more stuff. And he's. I think he's hitting his prime. Just hit his prime. I think he's what 32, so he's like right there. And there's so much more he can accomplish still if he wanted to. But if he wanted to walk away, he could. I wouldn't be mad at all. I don't think anybody would really be mad either because he's had a great career. But who am I? I'm a I'm a casual. I don't dig too deep into like the older stuff, and I wasn't following since day one, and I don't train or anything like that. I did wrestling back in high school, and that's for the most part that's where my expertise comes from. There's other training that I've done, but it's not to the extent of where I can where I could judge, where I could talk about it pretty much. But just a casual dude. It's like I said, I'm just the average dude, just talking about things that regular people talk about. And yeah, I don't know. Also, there was think it was a few years ago. My cousin did cage fighting. She had 2 fights, and they were she won both of them in the first round, which is crazy. So, I think she actually used to train with, like, Henry Cejudo or something like that, but, um, I don't know, not too pressed about any of that anymore really, but, she's not into that, that's okay. But, if she were, that'd be pretty cool. I'd definitely have to support my cousin doing that, or, any family that does that, or honestly anybody that's kind of participates anyway, because, I can't do it. And a lot of, majority of other people can't either. So whatever they're doing is, they're getting the paycheck and they're doing it right. So good for them. Anyway, I already mentioned it before, but we watch my son and we watch Disney a lot. And this will probably get me canceled, but I feel like there's a lot more emphasis on like femininity in Disney. I know they do have some male main characters, and back back when let's say like 90s, early 2000s, there was a good amount of like male main characters also. There was Lightning McQueen, and there was like Coco eventually. There's Woody and Buzz from Toy Story, but and then even before that there was like Tarzan and Hercules. But I feel like now it's more of, I don't know, just like more kind of like feminine kind of, characters, movies and stuff. And which is cool. I don't mind at all, but I'm like, what happened to making those movies like Hercules, like Tarzan, or other aspects of the stories that they would tell before? Because I know they would always have the Disney, like, like the Disney princesses, but they would also have other things. But I feel like now, majority of the stuff that comes out of Disney, it's like, oh, just we got another princess, we got another, um, yeah, we got another, princess story. That's pretty much what I see a lot of. It's not a whole lot of new male characters that I see. And I think I don't know, to be honest, one of the last ones I think I saw was like either like Coco or like Wreck It Ralph or even like Big Hero 6 or something like that. But um, honestly, I feel like they've been dropping the ball a little bit. Not just to, I don't know, I don't even know how to say it, because it probably going to come out wrong, but I feel like that's okay. Um, there's not there, like I said, we don't have Tarzan anymore. There's no Goofy anymore. There's no Donald Duck. It's all, you know, Moana, Coco, or not Coco, but like Encanto and everything like that. And I feel like it's definitely been rebranded, not necessarily for boys, pretty much. And I'm trying to find other things that my son could watch, that I could watch, that's not in necessarily the same, I don't know, the same alleyway. Everything is princesses, everything is strong female lead, strong female character, and which is fine. It's okay. I'm not bashing it at all, but I'd also like to see like another Tarzan kind of movie, another Hercules kind of movie. Even the last Goofy movie I saw was the extremely Goofy movie. Uh, Goofy's still a thing. Mickey Mouse is still a thing. They could do things with that, but I feel like they just really don't. They found success with like Frozen and Kanto, Moana, and I feel like they're just rolling with that instead of, um, doing other stuff. And yeah, I think that's really it. This was my video for today. Like I said before in the beginning, my wife challenged me to really try to develop some talking skills, talking to the camera skills, or podcasting skills anyway. And starting yesterday, today, however you want to say it, um, I'm gonna post. Hopefully, gonna post 7 days in a row, 30 minutes, and I know this video is edited because of, I have dogs and like to, they like to get in the videos, get involved with the videos. They want to start, they want to bark, go outside, eat, do all kinds of stuff. So I did have some side quests that I had to do while creating this. And, I still want to try to do these videos, and I want to try to be as authentic and real as possible. I want to do as little edits as possible, minus, like putting up some words or, like, comment, subscribe, kind of things like that, which I feel like is pretty generic. I feel like it's like a given thing, but I want to just keep the conversation really flowing. And, I know this video on my last one, I did a lot of pausing, and partially for me, it's because I get excited when I talk and I forget to breathe or something like that, So, um, I want to work on that and different techniques on how to talk, talking speed, eye contact, and, just other aspects of, speaking and podcasting, I guess. And eventually I will want to bring a guest, editing, different things. And I feel like accepting my wife's challenge and really just going for it is going to help me in the long run. So that's going to wrap it up for me today. This is Home with TJ. You can find it on Spotify, YouTube. I'm also on TikTok if you want to watch some short form content. I'll do the YouTube shorts also. You can find me at everything is Home with TJ. Home with TJ. And yeah, that's it. I'm TJ. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you tomorrow, next time, or whenever, so thanks for listening. Appreciate it.